The loss of a driving license can be both a hugely practical problem for a number of people and a very costly process in terms of having to compensate for not having a license and the cost of insurance for your car or motor vehicle when you eventually receive your license back. Most people assume that you lose your license mainly as the result of a drink driving conviction. This can certainly be true, but there are many other circumstances where it is possible to have your license revoked, suspended or taken away from you any length of time. There will normally be a proviso either in statute or on your license that stipulates you must be in good health in order to have a driving license. This means in effect that if your health changes in certain circumstances, you are under an obligation to notify the authorities. This may result in them taking your license away or requiring you to have certain medical tests at certain period of time that will determine whether your medical condition affects your ability to drive and not. It is difficult to generalize about what medical conditions are because it is normally the severity of the condition rather than the condition itself that determines the approach that the authorities will take. As an example, if your eyesight deteriorates significantly over any period of time, that it is obvious that that poses a risk both to yourself and to driving generally and is a condition that needs to be notified to the proper authorities. Equally, if you have certain types or degrees of epilepsy, that may affect your ability to drive in a safe manner. Equally, if your epilepsy is able to be controlled and managed through a variety of means including medication, then that would not be a barrier to having and keeping a license. Aside from health concerns that need to be notified, conviction of a drink driving offense is the most common reason probably why people lose their licenses. Be aware also that you can lose your license for refusing to give a breath test. In effect, this is taken as an admission of guilt by the legal system and by courts, and inevitably you will be treated as if you had given a breath test and had failed it and been found guilty. You can also lose your license by an accumulation of points. Motorists and car owners are normally given points on their license that are deemed to be minor or not so minor traffic offenses, quite often speeding or driving through red lights or similar infractions of the motor code. Speeding is a good example where minor speeding infractions may lead to a relatively few number of points that can quickly add up, if you're convicted of speeding several times in a given period of time and exceed the overall limit of points that you have on your license. In that respect and regard, you would then lose your license for a specified period of time. Bear in mind that motorists can lose their license as the result of one speeding offense if that speeding offense is deemed to be of a significantly serious nature. It is not uncommon for certain states to advise motorists on entry to that state that in the event of being caught speeding they will also be sent to jail. Whether that is a serious threat or not is not something that should be tested. The other type of situations might involve losing a license can relate to having an accident. In the event of the motorist being involved in an accident, they have certain obligations under law to notify the relevant law enforcement authorities and to assist as best they can to prevent any future accidents. If they do not comply with these, then it is certainly possible that the courts would take away their license for a certain period of time. Peter Main is a freelance writer who has spent almost 20 years in the insurance industry, working at Lloyd's of London. He writes extensively about car insurance and in particular about how understanding the various factors that make up the cost of people's car insurance can help significantly reduce costs of their motor policy. Share this video and subscribe for more interesting auto insurance tips.